when you start actually taking personal development seriously, it kind of comes with a responsibility as well. It's like you've seen beyond the curtain, you've seen what it means to be successful and master all areas of your life. You've gone from being a creature of circumstance, just following the same routines, the same patterns, completely subconscious and unaware, into realizing that we actually have the power to create whatever life that we want to create and to become whoever we want to become. And we can master all areas of our lives. And although that's great, there's also a lot of responsibility with having that knowledge, with knowing that we are the masters of our own destiny. Because suddenly it means that everything that we do, when we know is either driving us towards or away from the version of ourselves who we want to become, our goals, our vision of the future, our vision of our future selves, we know that every decision and every choice that we make has a consequence. So it also means that there's a lot of emotional and mental pressure that comes with that. Who do we choose to be in every single moment of our lives, every single day? And something that I see a lot of people make, and me included, I did this when I really started getting into mastering, all areas of my life, was we'll go hell for leather, we'll go all guns blazing on just becoming like a personal development junkie. You're constantly listening to audiobooks, constantly working on yourself in some way or another, constantly, working on your business, on your goals, on vision, whatever it may be. You're always striving to be the best version of yourself and really push yourself to the next level. But the problem with that is that if you completely immerse yourself 100% utterly into this new world, you can start to lose sight of some of the things that are really important to keep sight of as human beings. And that's that we need more than just, 100% utter business focus or ultimate productivity on mastering our lives. We have other values, other things, other needs that need to be fulfilled, such as the need to relax and chill out, the need to have fun and enjoy lives, the need to spend time with loved ones, to connect with other human beings, all these things that are vital for happiness and contentment and fulfillment. And it's so important, when we start this personal development journey, to remember this, to remember that we need to actually create something in our lives which is more than just, business and life mastery. And that is balance. We've got to be creating balance in our lives. So what you can do is you can look at your top 10 values, which will take some time to actually figure out. But, if you can put intentional thought into what is it that you value more than anything else, what are your top 10 values? So mine, for example, are leadership, honor, fun, boldness, legacy, independence, respect, freedom, responsibility, success. So those are my 10 values. And the reason that this is important is when we get clear about what it is that we value, we can start to make sure that we are structuring our days or really living our lives in line with those values. Because if we're not living our lives in line with what we as a human being actually value, then there's going to start to be some disconnects there. It's going to start to feel, a little bit off. It's like if you've worked in a company before where you disagree with the way that they're doing things, just something about it just doesn't feel quite right. That what that generally means is that the way they operate is not in line with your values. You're not aligned in how you see the world, in what you think is important. If you think, for example, honesty is important, or honor, my number 2 value, honor. If you think that that's important and you're in a company that's operating very dishonorably, you're not really going to find a happy, fulfilled and content life as long as you're staying with that company. So if you get clear on your values, you know what's important to you for you to feel aligned and feel fulfilled, then you can start to make sure that you're accommodating those values in your day-to-day life. If family, for example, is one of your values, but you're working an 80-hour career and you're never seeing your kids, well, it's pretty clear that there's a disconnect there. So something's going to need to change for you to live in line with your values. So get clear about your values and it will become a lot easier to figure out how to live a life of balance. And balance is the absolute key. Because when you're balanced, that's when you can be in something called flow state. And flow state, ironically, is the ultimate productivity state that you can be in. You know, so to be more productive, often we actually have to do less in our business. We have to actively schedule downtime. If you're anything like me, because I actually did this recently, I have a habit, like I get really immersed into what I'm doing with business and with work, and like, you know, I have lots of ideas and things I want to implement and people I want to help and all this kind of stuff. But I have a habit of literally absorbing myself completely into my work and my business and really mastering that area of life. And that over time, that will actually start to, you know, be a detriment to other areas of my life. I'll start to, you know, sacrifice sort of family and connection and that kind of thing. And I'll start to, fun is one that I noticed recently. Third value, looked at my values and I was like, I'm not living in line with my values. I'm literally not doing anything fun. I'm just like business, always on the laptop if I've got some downtime. So I'm like, no, that's got to change. I've got to actively schedule, block out time in my diary to do fun stuff, because my value of fun is not being, you know, adhered to. I'm not doing anything to facilitate that. So that is crucial. That is important. If you want to live a life of balance, you know, and you want to be in flow state, which actually means you're, you know, it's the highest form of productivity. If you're in flow state, magic will happen. Got to have balance in your life. It's so important, right? And to start with that, as I say, get clear about your values. Look at your life you're living at the moment. Are any of your values not being met by your lifestyle? If not, that's a clue that you might be out of balance at the moment.